Hello, good morning. How are we doing today? Let me know what you're working on. I am happy that it's Thursday. The week seems so much lighter and more joyful on Thursdays for me. Hello, Hessa, is that correct? Please correct me if I'm saying that wrong. Thanks for joining this morning. What are you working on? I am working on exactly what I ended on last time because I only write on these apparently. Okay, well, it's actually if you watched my video from yesterday where I create or yeah, it was yesterday. I created this whole plan of writing and then as of right now, I'm currently so behind on that I've completely changed the plan, so it's like fully out of date now, but um I ended up actually giving the first half of my book to some alpha readers. Is what I'm going to call them. I'm borrowing that term from a lot of other people, but yeah, I'm doing that. So I'm still kind of right after the halfway point, but I have done some other work with writing. So as you're coming in, let me know what you're working on. And then as always, my computer might explode during this. So you really enjoyed the longer form of the video. Well, thanks so much. I also really like longer videos. I think I was having this conversation with someone, and I'm not sure if you're referring to live streaming or like just longer routine sort of videos or just like writing vlogs. I like longer videos because I watch YouTube as TV, and I think if you like shorter videos, it tends to be because you prefer to watch YouTube sort of more similarly to TikTok. So it's like it depends on what you're going to YouTube for, what kind of length of videos you like. I like the super long, like 2 hour vlogs, but I can't film enough content for that at the moment. um, but yeah. Oh man. My computer this morning, I get up earlier on these days to plug it in and make sure it's all working. And then I thought it was charging. And then 5 minutes before the stream, it was like, no, we're dead and we're not charging. And then I had a panic, but I think I figured it out. So, um, well, I think I might just go ahead and get started with the first sprint. Um, I'm excited to get back into it. I haven't written in a while, but hello. I'm not sure what your username is. I'm just seeing two dashes. Sometimes it comes across weird on StreamYard, but hello and welcome. Are we doing sprints? Yes, I'm actually getting started with the first one right now. So it'll be two 25-minute sprints. So yes, get out your writing projects. If you want to share what you're working on, you can. Definitely don't need to. I'm working on an adult thriller. I'm just after the halfway point now. So I'm in Act 2, Part 2. We all know how I feel about Act 2, Part 2, or if you don't, I despise it. But I think this one might be different. So I'm going to go ahead and share my timer here. So we'll be writing until this timer goes off. And then it is just the two dashes. So you're good. Because I've had people where it like shows like their email address, but not their actual name. So you're good. You're good. Um, all right. If you join us during the chat or during the sprint, just let us know what you're working on. Um, and I'll see you guys in like 25 minutes. All right. Ooh. All right. That brings us to the end of that sprint. Wrap up your sentences. When I tell you I genuinely forgot that I was streaming until the timer went off. That's how good the writing was. So that's exciting. It looks like we have someone join us. Um, Kesara Crossing. Correct me if I'm pronouncing that horribly, which I definitely am. Unfortunately, up for the live. I kind of feel that way every day. I'm like, unfortunately, I'm awake, but we're here. Supposed to be at work today, but my dog had explosive diarrhea, and I had to wash. Oh my gosh, girl! And now I'm making rice for her while we wait to see if she needs to go to the vet. Doing some brainstorming in the meantime. Well, thanks for joining. I'm sorry about why you're here, but I'm happy that you are here. So let me know how the brainstorming is going. That's one of my favorite parts of the process, and I'm excited to get back to that once I finish this draft of this darn book. Good morning, Sherry. Just showing up now. That's all good. We've still got a whole sprint, so you're just in time. Sherry, how is all of your querying and pitching going, if you don't mind sharing? Um, I saw I was stalking a little on the Twitch, not the Twitch, the X, the Twitter, whatever. You know what I mean? The pitching, and I saw that you were getting some hearts. So, and your dog also gave you grief last night. Kept awake and had to take her out twice. Oh my goodness! Wow. Um, Yes. Okay. How did I actually did forget I was streaming until and then I remembered, but it was like in and out where I was like, oh, I'm on camera. I should probably not do anything weird. I ended up writing. I have no idea how many words because I was not keeping track, but probably 500, something like that. Seems about right. Good morning, Cranko. Thanks for joining. Working on a short story today. No more notes for me. You've been working on this for a while. Um, Actually, comparatively, probably not, but that's awesome. What genre is your short story? I have not written a short story in like 2 years, I don't think. It was never my preferred medium, but the only time, the only short story I ever wrote, it's actually like in an anthology locally, not like big or anything. Um, I wrote it while I was on a plane, and the guy next to me on the plane was watching a documentary about a plane crash, and I was like, "This is diabolical of you." And then I like was, and he was kind of like my age and sort of cute. And you know when you're on an airplane and you're like, "This is a rom com." Maybe that's just me. I was like, what if I like had a conversation? No, I just wrote it instead. Like I wrote this short story on the plane where I was like, I like wrote this fake conversation that we had. Good thing he didn't look over and read it. But then it turned into like, oh, actually, she's flying home to a bad situation and he's a lawyer, and then he like slips her a card that's like, hey, we'll get you out. I don't know. It turned into violent and horrible, which is how I always go. But anyway, that's my long-winded way of saying I can't write short stories, or I can. I just don't usually. Querying trenches are deep and treacherous. Pitches did go well though. 4 agent likes and 2 press likes. That's so awesome. I loved your pitch. I was reading. I was like, oh, I want to like it, but I'm not going to. But I am supporting from afar. That's so awesome. Um, but yes, I agree. The query trenches are deep and treacherous. I feel like, tell me if you have experienced this in the last 2 weeks. 3 weeks ago, it was like people were active. The query trenches were active. There were bombings, so to say. That was a really dark metaphor. I'm so sorry. Um, I mean, to start the metaphor with trenches in general, I feel like I am so sorry. Okay, moving on. But now, since then, it's been silent. Like, I feel like I have heard nothing. So, anyway, all right. Cranko's short story is urban fantasy, but like middle grade YA urban fantasy based in a world of a series I'm working on. Oh, that's such a good idea. I don't know if this was intentional, but maybe that's what I'll do when I write short stories is write them like within the world of the characters. I've already sort of created the cinematic universe in my own writing, just in terms of like the cops are the same people. I write thrillers, so there's always like police involved because people are dying. Okay, anyway. I've rediscovered OneNote because GoodNotes updated it to GoodNotes 6, and I have to pay for it again, which is so annoying when a software wasn't subscribed. Yes, the subscription-based softwares are diabolical, and I will die on this hill. Like, this is why I like Scrivener. But I do like OneNote. I've been using OneNote for a while. Um, or I used to a lot. Now I use Scrivener. I just don't take notes anymore is actually the real answer. But I also despise when it's like, actually, you're gonna pay $3 a month for the rest of your life. I'm like, absolutely not. Anyway, but I hope that OneNote works for you. It worked really well for how my brain worked. It's hard not to like, but there are so many good ones. Joy Pit is this Friday. Good to know. I also write dark and devious, so not my books. My Castle Comp might work though. That's the one I'm writing right now, and if I don't have like a query letter for it or anything, because it is hot steaming garbage right now, but it won't be soon. It's getting better. So, um, that's usually what I do. It's so fun because at least it's world building and I can point to it later with the short stories being in the same world. That's really smart. I feel like I did that a couple times with my first book, which was a little more like dystopian fantasy question mark. Like I would write backstory of characters. Um, yeah, yeah. That's so smart. And then it feels like you're being double productive when you're because it's in the same world. Um, yeah, awesome. This is your reminder to stay hydrated. Everybody take a sip of water. Not just coffee, okay? Go get a drink of water. I'm also gonna drink my coffee. I was so tired this morning that when I was making my coffee, I didn't like take what is that thing called? It doesn't matter. Essentially, I was like trying to brew coffee, but I hadn't put any new coffee beans or grounds in. So I was like trying to make coffee from the same grounds as yesterday. And I was like, why is this so disgusting? And I was like, oh, because it's from yesterday and probably like nasty. So then I made a new cup. And it's still not hitting as hard as it usually does, which is unfortunate. Good morning, Scarlett. Thank you for joining. And I do pride myself on being hydrated. They call me the camel. They don't really, and also that doesn't make sense. I did have a group of people call me the camel once because I drank so much water, but actually camels don't drink a lot of water. They just store a lot of water and they don't actually drink that much water. And so I always get a little annoyed when people are like, "Oh, the cam." No, I'm not the camel. I drink. Okay. Anyway, that was a soapbox I did not think I was going to get on this morning. I think it is time for another writing sprint, if I do say so myself. Mm. Okay, I'm gonna try to finish this chapter this sprint. Um, oh my goodness. I think my throat is attacking me and telling me to write, so I'm gonna do that. Okay. I'll see you in 25 minutes. All right. That brings us to the end of the second sprint. How did we do, everybody? I did not finish the chapter, and honestly, that wasn't even really in the cards. Anyway, but I did write about. Now I have to do math. 600 words. The amount of time that it took me to subtract 3 from 9 is disturbing, and my elementary school math teachers would be ashamed. But about 600 words. Um, I feel like I say it at every stage of the book, but I feel like I could have probably grinded through a little faster and just like transcribed everything really quickly, but this is a very pivotal scene for a lot of reasons. And also 600 words is a lot, so I don't even know what I'm saying. Cranko got 231. That's awesome. Sherry's working on revisions. It's slow going. I love line editing, but structural changes kill me. I I feel like I'm actually the opposite. Line editing is my worst nightmare and I hate it, but structural changes, once I know what the structural changes are, then they're great. Coming up with what they are, horrible. Horrible because you're just like sitting and waiting to be hit with inspiration of like what the plot problem is and how you fix it. But like implementing that, I don't hate as much, but line editing, I despise it. But I like it so much after it's line edited. So, yeah, I feel you. I feel like it's not even fair to say that I'm doing revisions right now because technically I'm on draft 2, but I'm not changing anything at this point. Um, I'm just, it's essentially like a read through, a write through. That's what I'm calling it now. It's a write through because I'm just writing through it, but I'm not actually changing anything. But it is a productive draft. It's actually sort of the closest thing to it is line editing because technically that's what I'm doing. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you can have it ready for the next pitch event. July 3rd is Quest Pit. Maybe. Maybe. The coming up with it is my favorite part of writing. This is I feel like it's my least favorite and my favorite. Like when I come up with something, best part of writing hands down. But the sitting and waiting, I remember I was filming this vlog last summer and I was literally all I had to do that week was solve this plot problem, but I didn't know how to solve it. And so I was just sitting there like waiting to figure it out. And so I was just like reading thrillers to try to get some sort of something and just like sitting and staring and trying to write around it and it was miserable. But then during that week I like had an epiphany and I was like, this is why I write. This is the reason. um, Going back to this, having it ready for July 3rd. I have been having these moments recently where I'm like, what if I became like a super fast drafter? I don't know. Like I've been watching some I don't remember even who or what. I'll come up with it later. But people who like have written like 60 books and they write a book in a month and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go that fast. But I'm also I don't want to feel constrained by this idea of what the process needs to be in my head. You know? Because I've always had it in my head like I write a book a year. And honestly it will probably still be a similar pace. But like I go through a certain number of drafts. But honestly, right now the plotting feels so tight in this book that I don't know if I'm gonna need to do a major plot hole style revision where I overhaul the whole book. Because I feel like I really did the work on the front end. I said this last year though too, with the other book, and that didn't happen. And I have it with readers right now, the first half of it, and then as I get it done, I'll send the second half. But I just part of me is like, they're for sure gonna have sentence and scene level stuff, but like it might not need a whole overhaul. And then I could just like finish it this summer, which would be crazy. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Coming up with ideas is my kryptonite. I hate outlining. I suck at it. Too many directions to go in. I just can't commit to anything and keep changing my mind. Yep. Me too. That's why I really do love like Save the Cat. Not just for all the reasons that everybody loves it, but how I outlined this book is like first I wrote down like all the tropes I love, all the vibes I want, all that. And then I see like I write a general like here's a direction it could go, and then I take Save the Cat and I'm like here's where it all fits into this beautiful puzzle. And I'm like look at that. And then I usually have to change it 8 times because something doesn't fit. But I feel you. Yep. Problem solving block is the worst kind of creative block. It really is. And it's also the most satisfying when you fix it, which I guess, no pain, no gain, as the gym bros say. Actually, writing the book is my weak point. It's why I have 8 trillion fleshed out ish ideas, but I have no actual writing backing them. Interesting. I always think it's so interesting, like how some people's favorite part of the process is the other part that I like would never want to do. I would never choose to do. Um, this is my problem sometimes too, where actually writing the book is like, once you have this outline, you're afraid to touch it because it's like, well, no, it works so well in the outline. I don't want to ruin it by actually writing it down. I've had those moments briefly, but then I'm like, ah, let's dive right in. Maybe we should hire Cranko to write our outlines, frankly. Oh man. I have found myself having a lot of fun with outlining too because I think it's a similar thrill that people who are pantsers get when like discovery drafting because the first like outline that I do is like a discovery outline. So I still get that thrill of like, where's the story gonna go? But I don't have to write 90,000 words of it and have to go back and revise 90,000 words of this discovery thing. I can do it in like 5 pages instead, you know? Because I do love that moment of discovery and the outlining and how it all fits together. But I like to do that before I have to do a million years of work on it to see that. Um, Especially if I'm writing on really with a really nice pen on paper. That sounds so luxurious. I don't have any good pens in my life, and I think I need to change that. I feel like I don't actually need this, but like a beautiful, nice pen. Yeah. Um, yeah, if anybody else wants to share how their writing sprints have been going, feel free to do so. Oh my gosh, it's already 7:15. Time truly does fly. I think I am gonna end it here today, but I will definitely be doing some sprints next week as well. Probably more than this week. Like I don't know. I'm gonna try out doing more and see how it feels. Maybe ease my way into daily during the week. Let's not get out of ourselves. um, my good pens is a multi-pack of different color pens from Walmart. I'll just have to go look at Walmart. I'll do it. You don't even have to come up with the name. I'll just buy them all. Um, awesome. Well, thanks for writing with me, you guys. I will see you very soon with a video. I hope you'll have a super productive day or just a relaxing day. Just have a good day. And if you're watching the replay, let me know how your writing went. What time are you watching the replay? How far after the sprints and do you watch? I don't know. Answer all my questions and ones that I didn't even ask down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with a friend, all the YouTube things. I'll see you next time.